Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with some more World of Tanks today, and we're actually going to look at two of my replays featuring the M10 Wolverine, just because I actually did fairly well in these games, and I have to just showcase this underdog of a tank destroyer because so many people complain about it, and it is better than you think. I mean, it's not fast, but it's fast enough to get you to where you need to be and set up and snipe, and that's what I keep talking about. In fact, that's probably what I spoke about the most in my last video. You're a sniper, and you need to play it as such, because once you got that upgraded turret, which actually adds to the speed, they don't tell you about it, but the turret actually increases, the upgraded turret actually increases the speed of your shot by like a couple milliseconds or something, and it might not be noticeable, but it's there. And on top of that, you get a gun rammer, have your crew trained up to near 100% or 100%, and then obviously have the last gun, the fast-firing machine gun, 76mm. And if you're tiered properly, you can tear people up. And as you can see, I get lucky in this one, and I'm top-tier match made, so that does obviously help. But in a lot of cases, if you just know where to aim at tanks, even at higher tiers, you can devastate people. And I think you might see a little bit more of that in my next replay. But just look at this reload time. Phenomenal. Now, I am shooting at more of the frontal area of a T-14, so the armor is going to be a little bit more difficult to get through on that. But just spammed them and just made him have a really bad day. M4 Sherman takes one hit. He's like, whoa, I'm out of here. Takes another. Trying to get back, so he disappears from the fight. Time to switch targets. M5 Stewart coming in. He's got his little derp gun. So he wasn't looking at us though. And big mistake, rear armor. Boom! One more actually hits him on the track. And he's now immobile, which equals dead, but I take a shot. And it's time to take cover because I've already exposed myself enough here. But you may also notice I'm actually using some new sound effects. I have replaced the engine sounds, I've replaced the gun sounds, I even have some ambience, so it replaces the music with wartime battle sounds, so you can hear airplanes and explosions and gunfire in the distance instead of some of the music, which I'm not too fond of in the game. So it adds a little bit more depth to the environment. And the engine sound effects are just way better, as well as some of the gun sounds have that little bit more realistic punch to them. Because guns don't always sound like what you think they do sometimes. But so I'm still kind of playing with the sound mods, but it's kind of fun that you can actually change them up. Although I hear that the game is due to have a drastic audio engine overhaul, so apparently they're gonna change up a lot of the sound effects on their own, so we'll have to see how that goes. But this is me just hanging out here. It was another one, PZ38T, just I don't know what he thought he was going to do, kamikaze mission. That's an easy kill. I love being top tier with this tank because not only does your gun penetrate everything, it shoots so fast that you're just gonna end up with a good score. Unless you are terrible, like, look, this is a good example too, because look, I started with 2 other M10 tank destroyers on my team. Now, they might not be fully upgraded, but one of them's already dead. One of them is there, he's still alive, he has 1 kill. And now he's dead. So he obviously just, there's an example. There's 2 people that played their tank wrong. No offense, guys, but you're obviously not using it right, because you're not supposed to charge in with this thing. Took a hit there, but that seems to have, I think that was a bounce, because I think I just have the same damage that I had before. And right now I'm like, okay, I'm going to take cover behind this building. So I moved up a little bit just to get some action in. M4 is toast, because I saw where the score was. We're dead even at this point, and I really just didn't have anything on the sight line, so I could no longer just sit back and snipe from that position. M2 medium tank, he could have used 1 more hit and would have been done, but he moved out of my sight line. There's a Hetzer that just appeared there. No artillery on the battlefield anymore, so it's down to some old-fashioned tank combat. There's a Stug in the distance. I'm worried because I look at the enemy score and I see that they have a Panzer IV and the Stug. Oh, there's a Martyr. He's a tasty target. One more. Just one more. And he's mine. So that's done. And the other nice thing about the fast-firing cannon is that there's a lesser chance of having a kill steal from other opponents, because that's usually what happens. Not that it matters too much, but since the game doesn't show the damage that you've dealt to other players, it's kind of like the only credit that you have. It's like, oh, look at my kills, you know, so that's a good way to shut people up. So I kind of wish that they would show your overall damage on the scoreboard as well. Damage dealt. So at this point, we have a problem. Got a Stuart on my team. It's basically useless because I know his gun is underpowered and his health was low. And then we have a Sherman, which is useful, and he's done very well, getting 6 kills. But he can be penned by the Stug and the Panzer IV, so he is in danger. I'm trying to come up and go for a flanking maneuver. We don't know where the PZ4 is. M4 is out. I'm like, oh crap, I'm basically by myself. There's the PZ4. But he's undercover. I'm like, oh, show yourself. I know I could take you in one shot if I can hit you properly. Rear armor hit. And done. Stug gets ballsy. What's he thinking, putting himself out like this? I take a hit. One more hit, I'm dead. But guess what? My gun shoots faster than yours, and he's done. So that's a very good game. Doesn't happen all the time. Usually if you're in the M10, getting top tier is very, very rare. But when it happens, it means a fun game is ahead. Unfortunately, I didn't have a premium account, so the currency and experience was horrible. I wish I had premium that time, but... So there's our kills, and here's the ones we damaged. 30 shots, 26 hits. Not bad there, and of course that gave us a sniper. Posthumously for the M4, you got the top gun. Good job there. And that's that. So we're going to cut this one and move on to the next replay. So here we are with replay number 2, and once again M10 Wolverine. Now in this one you can see that we're more normally tiered for this tank destroyer. This is typically the type of games that I'm involved in, so this means I have to play safe. But you know what? I always play safe, so what am I really saying? Now this map, a lot of people don't like it because it is a camping map, a sniping map basically, but obviously for my tank destroyer that's not a problem. That's what I'm designed to do, so that's what I'm going to do. So it's just about kind of finding a good vantage point to where you can maybe engage multiple targets. And I'm looking at this KV because I know that if he comes forward, might have some top armor, and there he is. So we're going to get more of a top angle on his frontal hull there. And he's just like, huh, what's going on? All he's doing is moving his turret. So unless, he's not tracked, but he's just like, oh, I'm going to keep moving forward. Why would you do that? You're obviously taking fire from the front. There's a hit indicator that tells you what direction stuff's coming from, and it's common sense. Get back behind the building. What were you doing? So that, again, good example. Don't play like that. You just threw away a KV. Just threw it away. And I think he had the derp gun, so what a waste. But anyway, here we go. We've got a T-50 who thinks he's going to play scout. But again, we have another top armor angle here, which, as you can see, seems to be giving us some good results. And he's just, I think he's stuck because he wouldn't move. So I think the way he was angled, he might have been stuck somehow. But that's fine by me. Obviously, he was trying to spot some targets. Now, I saw that artillery blast. I'm like, okay, time to be careful. I might be lit up. Because that priest... I don't know, what am I saying? Any of those pieces of artillery. Artillery hurts me really bad because obviously I have a open top turret and paper thin armor. So what I usually do is I drive off and I go to somewhere where I can cool off for a bit and lose my sight picture from the enemy. So we got 2 easy kills there. We got lucky mostly because the enemy put themselves in a bad spot. But the enemy still has a lot. We still have a lot of tanks on the battlefield. This is far from over. And what we have so far is the VK, who's just playing peekaboo the whole game, hiding out behind that rock. He's already taken massive damage, so... Just kind of watching there. There's a KV-3 at the lower section. He's done. That area is always a gamble. The teams usually, there's 2 things that happen. Either the whole team camps, or most of the team or half of the team will also rush down to the middle and kind of try to use the buildings and get into peekaboo fights and try to either spot targets or just get the ones that end up on the ground. Flag capturing on this map, it happens only obviously late game like most maps, but I would say that flag capping on this map doesn't happen as much as other maps. So it's just me kind of waiting at this point. He's the only thing that's lit. I was hoping that he would back up and give me some rear armor to look at, but that didn't really happen, so I kind of just had to hang out. And now again, my objective here is, obviously I'm, you know, weaker on the list of tanks here, so I have to think about hitting targets on soft armor. So I really have to wait for that chance, if it's given to me. Some massive explosions happening there, and they are taking us out as well. But once again, you know, having the binoculars for your tank destroyer on this map is definitely going to help out. Camo net obviously key. You know, the one downside to this game too is that sometimes, you know, since it chooses the maps randomly, you never know what your situation is going to be like. So in some cases you might have other guns that you want to choose or equipment based on the map, but you can never know. There's a Jagdpanzer who I hit once and just kind of miss a second shot because I think my mouse kind of slipped, and once it did it just kind of got a little jerky after that, so I missed another side armor shot on him. At this point I'm just surveying the area. We had caught a glimpse of a Panther there as well. VK's getting lit up again, and still nothing. I see that there's an M6 over here. If we could get some good shots on him, I could pen him. I missed there. That was terrible. Front armor didn't do anything, and there's kind of like an angle shot. I have an M6 because I'm trying to get work on my way towards the T-29. I hate the M6, mostly because of the size. It moves at a decent speed, but the size of it is just... The whole shape of it is just terrible. It's a bus. Makes you an easy target. And that's the thing with this game, is if you're a big target, people will... If they have 2 targets to choose from, a big fat bus target versus like a slimline tank, they'll aim for the bus because it's easy. There's the Jagdpanzer. Can we get him? Nope. We hit him, but somebody else finished him. There's a T-25-2. Or /2, I should say. And that's the tank destroyer after what? I think that comes after the Slugger and the Hellcat. There's a Panther just in a weird position, and I just keep lighting them up. Unfortunately, I have nothing but sloped armor to shoot at, and it's all angled. And he's obviously higher tier, so this gun isn't going to be as effective. But you know what I decided to do? I switched over to HE rounds and just spammed them. And you can see there's just, even penning with HE, he's having a bad day. Imagine all that high explosive coming at you. You don't know what's going on. It's just constantly until he finally dies to somebody else's shot. Lots of damage. And we're letting them have it. You can see the Panther player type. A lot of HE shots. Ouch. telling you, this thing's a machine gun. So you spam HE. That was just having fun with that guy, pretty much. Game is close, and I'm just staying back, doing what I need to do here. We got some heavy hitters out there kind of scouting around. There's a Hellcat. We don't want to get hit by him, especially if he has the 90 mil. But he appears to just be situated there and gets taken out by the Jagd Panther. However, to have the Jagd Panther all the way out there was kind of, I don't know why. I'm not sure why he didn't just stay back and snipe, but he has 2 kills. Especially for a fixed turret tank destroyer. It's not what I would have done, but you know, some people are really good with taking those things out and eating people up. And this happens every time I play this map. It always just gets quiet. And it's like nobody sights anybody, and there's somebody just waiting, and the clock is just ticking down. And sometimes you just end up with that draw, but the thing is you have to remember, when you're in this tank destroyer, the armor is so horrible, and the speed going out there, when it's like, when you have to like look at survey the situation. I have guys that are out there. There's no reason for me to go out there, none at all, because I can hit anything from this range with this gun. I'm very accurate. I know my crew is almost 100%. I could provide fire support. There's zero reason for me to go up there with them. They're heavy hitters. The IS is low on hit points, but we've got a almost full health Tiger, so they're okay. And we got artillery hanging back, and boom, there's a Hetzer. I don't know why a Hetzer decides to come out there. He's just like, what does he think he's gonna do? See ya. Thanks for the side armor shot. He wanted to be a hero. Now there's a T-25 AT. Really potent gun. But again, I don't know what this guy was thinking. I think he got impatient, and I missed quite a few shots here, but there's a hit, no damage. There's a hit, and there's a T-25. Boom. Finish him off, because I switched to him. I know I could finish him, and I was like, oh, look at this shot here. Look at that angle that he gave me on that top armor. I was like, thank you. I love the angle that this guy gave me. He had no idea. And see? Decimation. Decimation. You know why? Because, again, I said, what did I say? I said, if I stay up here, this is going to give me a better vantage point, right? So, staying up here means that I'm going to have those angles, those top armor angles. And if I'd have gone out there like an idiot, I'd probably either be dead by now or just not have that shot. I killed the 25 AT and that last and the T-25-/2. So because of staying up here. But as you can see, I've expelled or gone through all my ammunition. I have 2 rounds left, and I typed that out. 2 rounds left. You also, I think that's one of the things you have to be careful of. When you have a fast firing gun, you can get in a bad habit of just constantly shooting. So you have to make sure that you're hitting those weak spots at all times. And sometimes that just requires research. Figure out where, I don't always know everything. I just try to learn where to hit these tanks and try to get better at hitting them. I know my major weakness tends to be Russian tanks. I don't always know where to hit all those things yet. I know some of them just have really bad side armor, but that could be almost said for anything. So there's an M10 there. I don't know why he was over there. I don't know what he was trying to do. The shots that he would get from there really aren't going to be that great. He had 0 kills, so he was apparently useless to their team. But the only thing to worry about now is that priest. This game, this is one of those things that's, well, yeah, this game is ours. And I was thinking to myself, well, again, I could go out there and hunt with them, but why? I said I have 5 kills. They're out there. They're going to scout the area. Tiger's moving in. I'm just going to wait until they light him up. If they light him up, maybe I'll get a shot. Unless, the only way I won't is if he's behind those buildings. Now, I could go cap. I mean, that would get me some extra points, but I don't care about the points that much. I'd rather have a good win. So, I don't need to freak out about cap points. Especially when you don't have premium. Oh, there's the priest. He's running away. Big mistake, because I know how to lead a target. And again, staying back and waiting for the right opportunities is what gets you these kind of kills. So a lot of fun once again with the underrated M10 Wolverine tank destroyer. And remember, when we started, I was what, middle, less, a little under that as far as tier and matchmaking. It's not a bad tank destroyer. In fact, I've kept this piece of armor. I don't care. I have tier 6 TDs. I have the M18 Hellcat and I have the M36 Slugger. Keeping those as well because they're a lot of fun. But I'm never getting rid of this TD. It's just so much fun. But anyway, 53 shots. 43 of them are hits. Lots of damage. Some detections even. Probably because of the binoculars, so that's always a good thing to have. And boom. Top gun. So, again, great game. And that is definitely how to play the M10 Wolverine. If anybody tells you any different, I don't know. If you can, I wouldn't use it any other way. But that's just my opinion. I have more success like this, and this is how I have the most amount of fun. And really, guys, that's what it's about. It's about how can you have fun with any video game you play. If this is how I have fun, then this is how I'm going to play the game. So if you want to flank around with some other, you know, and have, if you can take this tank and use it as a flanker, then more power to you. But, you know, in the meantime, this is how I roll. And I suggest the same for most of you if you really have an interest in this tank destroyer. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for a whole lot more.